Caitlin Clark and
I'm a fan.
Angel Reese, right?
Yeah.
They're going back and forth.
I'm a fan of both.
And Jamil Hill says by the time Angel Reese is done, she's going to be the Michael Jordan of WNBA.
She said about Angel Reese?
She said Angel Reese, by the time she retires, can you pull up this quote? She said, by the time she retires, she will be the MJ.
Stephen A. Smith abruptly ended Angel Reese's ego trip as if it were a poor reality TV show following she performed the classic Caitlin Clark stunt, which caused everyone on the internet to yell, "Oh no, she didn't." Angel Reese may need aloe, and Stephen had just turned the microphone into a fire, so if you thought basketball drama peaked on the floor, get ready. How did she act? You're not prepared for this pandemonium. I see. So let's get started. 4 points. That's all. That is the entire tweet. Angel Reese scored 4 points in total, as though she was following a scoring diet, and in some way, Caitlin Clark's absence sapped her will to attack. Let's be clear, Caitlin wasn't even on the court for the Sky v Fever game that we're discussing here. Like a happy suburban soccer mom, the girl is watching the game while sipping Gatorade and wrapped up like a mummy on the bench. And still, Angel Reese couldn't capitalize.
It's not about black and white. It's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA. You see, it was all instigated. If Angel Reese was never in Caitlin Clark's face, taunting her the way that she did when mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing to numerous opponents en route to the Final Four. And then Angel Reese and LSU bust their living, you know what, at that particular moment in time. And Angel Reese was in her face chirping at her the way that she did, it would have never gotten to this point.
We have a lot of folks that have come to the defense of numerous WNBA players because they were pointing out, like, this has been going on before long and people are not hating on her. It's not about hating on her. It's that you feel she is getting a level of attention that you deserved and you warranted long before she ever came along.
You know what? I'm going to have the worst game of my career today. How do you enter a game where the star player is practically breaking her ankle on the sidelines? Let's make it something to remember. Mission accomplished if that was a ploy to demonstrate that she is the anti-Caitlin. Because Angel was out there performing songs so low that they ought to have been accompanied by a melancholy trombone sound effect while Caitlin was busy recovering. 4 points. It isn't a stat line. That is a cry for assistance.
This weekend with several marquee matchups on the slate. Most fans were excited to see Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever take on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. The game was a blowout as the Fever beat down Chicago 93-58 with Clark's triple-double leading the way. But the biggest headline coming out of the game on Saturday is the investigation the WNBA is conducting into allegations of hateful fan comments directed at Angel Reese. It happened after this play when Clark slapped at the ball after Reese grabbed an offensive rebound.
She did indeed grab her cherished 12 rebounds. Yes, those rebounds are her lifeblood. You would assume that every rebound has a free Chick-fil-A voucher. She seizes them as if her career depended on it, which might happen after this catastrophe. She would be wealthy if rebounds were gold bars. However, she acts as though scoring is beneath her, regardless of points, baskets, or real offense. As if by not dropping double digits, she's helping the game.
Because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her. But it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine.
Even pundits trying to spin it by saying things like, well, she's contributing in other ways, is horrible. What other ways? Morale. She appeared to have spent 40 minutes performing aerobic exercises. She was seen staring off into space at one point, as if she were thinking about taking up reality TV as a second job. The actual statistics of Chicago will soon be available on a streaming service in your area. Let's face it, Angel Reese used to enter with a lot of swagger. The nails were flawless and the lashes were applied. The untouchable mindset. However, that stat line is given at the moment. I didn't realize today was game day. She screamed, "I peaked in college," during her entire performance. She did not promise the season. The Bayou Barbie Dominance Tour is not what this is. The empty wine glass is being held by Angels, and the WNBA's desperate housewives, Caitlin Clark, meantime, is being singled out as though she owes the league money. And even though she seems like Steph Curry's long-lost cousin, she manages to contribute by throwing assists, draining threes when she is allowed to shoot, and yet somehow getting double-teamed. Despite having the microphone, the stage, the spotlight, and the backing dancers, Angel was still unable to remember her lines. Additionally, that 12-rebound flex. Listen, it's time to acknowledge that not every rebound is made equally. Angel offended her mother by bouncing back like the ball. She now makes stat padding her full-time career. Like she's trying out for a CrossFit ad, she's boxing out players before turning around and throwing up a shot as if it were an abstract art project. She is currently merely stockpiling boards in the same way that she is gathering Pokemon cards. Must capture them all, but never take any action. Currently, there are rumors. Yes, those menacing sports rumors that she might be benched, dropped, or forgotten. The WNBA is not a high school where attempting is rewarded with a gold star. You're sitting if you're not scoring. And at the moment, Angel Reese's courtside style may be her greatest asset to the squad. She might want to check with the clothing department rather than the coaching staff if they start cutting minutes. Her breakthrough season is anticipated to occur this year. She's not simply an attitude with no altitude, as evidenced by the moment she puts all of the detractors to shame. Instead, she's becoming the player equivalent of a TikTok craze that went viral after 2 weeks. Do you recall the challenge of the milk crate? That is the current trajectory of Angel's career. Began on a high note, took a shaky stride, and now we're seeing the collapse start in slow motion.
That's true. Indiana Fever's on a different level than the Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special, she's not Caitlin Clark as a player. Caitlin Clark is on a different level. We just have to own that. Angel Reese can rebound the basketball. She's a damn good player. She's got a bright future in the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark is next level.
Don't misunderstand. Everyone wanted her to be successful. She is the WNBA gold, the drama, the rivalry, the image, and a walking quote machine. However, if you are unable to post points on the board, all of that brilliance is nothing. 4 points is insufficient. Unless this is some type of long-form performance art where she's making a statement about minimalism in professional sports. The supporters are suddenly taking notice. They see it, I see. Like it was draft night, Twitter was ablaze. 4 points. Is she all right? Offensive ghost, but rebounding queen. It's becoming violent. Even the diehards of Angel Reese are penning opinion articles, suggesting that perhaps it's time to acknowledge her difficulties. Indeed, Karen. She's having as much trouble as a Roomba on a shag carpet. The contrast is what makes it worse. Caitlin Clark's presence alone draws attention to all of Angel's weaknesses. It's similar to underlining your errors. Angel Reese is out there with a healthy body, a clear runway, and nevertheless manages to trip over her own potential while Caitlin is out with an injury and still manages to be the center of attention. Currently, there are rumors that permeate locker rooms like the stench of despair. Will she take a seat on the bench? Will they give her a break for her own growth? We don't know what to do with her, but we don't want to say it out, so that's the front desk code. This guy didn't sign up for a full-time rebound hoarder who acts allergic to the basket.
Just a second, but before I do that, I want to ask you your thoughts about apparently some racial animus that was thrown in the direction of Angel Reese. The Chicago Sky have gotten involved, talking about they're going to protect their players at all costs. The WNBA has issued a statement saying it abhors and discourages hate of any kind, etc., etc. Your thoughts about it? Here's the WNBA statement. The WNBA strongly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination in all forms. They have no place in our league or in society. We are aware of the allegations and are looking into the matter. Your thoughts about that element of all of this, where you believe it emanates from, and do you think it will ever subside?
Oh man, the latter part of that, Stephen A, is quite the thing to think on. I think when you go back to the impetus of the rivalry that we have between Caitlin and Angel Reese, I remember funny clips on the internet.
Instead of someone with a stat line that resembles a lottery ticket that nearly won, they want a presence, a leader, and someone who consistently shows up. If this is her worst start to a season, it's not just a slump, it's a siren. Furthermore, charitable minutes are not used by the WNBA. You can't rely just on your college connections. Here, LSU highlights don't win games. You turn into a bench fixture with amazing lashes and an inspirational Instagram bio the instant you stop performing. Girl, work hard and maintain your humility. What about a score? Additionally, you simply know when he saw the box score. Stephen A. Smith sighed dramatically, put on his glasses, and said, "For points. For points." Into the air, he's already getting the monologue warmed up somewhere. Listen to me now, young woman. This young woman has to realize that she is no longer in Baton Rouge. He's also not incorrect. Before that stat sheet begins to resemble a post-it note, Angel Reese needs to get into her flow. No one's expecting her to drop 40, but can we get a double-digit night? Perhaps at a moment of offensive clarity or an assist. It's like seeing someone attempt to microwave a steak right now. Perplexing and distressing. Furthermore, the pressure is not decreasing. These days, every game and every minute spent on the floor is a test. She no longer only plays basketball. She is trying out for a spot in the league. This isn't the NCAA, when every rebound has its own montage and the audience is yelling your name. If your production does not match your promo, the WBA will bench you in the middle of your sentence.
To her behavior towards Caitlin Clark, because when Caitlin Clark was busy taunting opponents a couple of years back before LSU smacked Iowa around in the national championship game or so, it was Angel Reese that was clapping back at Caitlin Clark once it was Caitlin Clark's turn to have her comeuppance. And that's what made Angel Reese famous. Now, Angel Reese experienced vitriol thereafter. It was tough for her to deal with, as she articulated, and that's unfortunate because we got some no-good-ass people.
Now, Angel Reese has two choices. She either becomes the cautionary story that ESPN makes into a 30 for 30 special, complete with dramatic piano music and slow-motion images of missed layups, or she rebounds, both literally and figuratively. There is a ticking clock. The stage remains in place. However, the focus is changing, and Angel won't simply be kicked from the court if she doesn't light it up soon. She will not participate in the discussion. Then comes Tyler Marsh, the guy with the headset, the clipboard, and what appears to be a Rubik's Cube positioning plan for Angel Reese, an incoherent game of Twister. He has been whirling her around the court. You are a power forward now. You're a stretch four now. Coach, what exactly is that formation? He seems to be attempting to use interpretive dance to address her performance issues. Here's the catch, though. The obvious truth that Angel Reese isn't performing isn't obscured by all of that tactical wrangling. Rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic and asking why you're still sinking is analogous to this. She could be stuck in the parking lot, the perimeter, or the discomfort by Tyler Marsh. IT makes no difference. We have an issue with Houston, or in this instance, Chicago, if she continues to have 4-point shooting nights and hoard rebounds like it's her side gig.
Fangirl over her? Bend the fucking knee? Kiss the ring? Like, what do you want from them? We cannot every time the girl plays a game. She got 40 games, guys. She got 35 more games. We are not every single game gonna revisit and retread this same tired ass rhetoric that all these girls are hating on her, and they need to be thankful they have been.
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, has been seriously hurt and continued to be the focal point of the WNBA. She would still receive more baskets and assists than Angel Reese did in the previous game, even if she were shooting baskets from a wheelchair while wearing a complete leg brace. Even on her roughest days, Caitlin makes an effort. She would most likely still give a triple-double to enrage the haters even if you blindfolded her. Imagine this, then. Caitlin Clark returns after her injuries. She has slept, she is upset. Additionally, she is more ferocious than a dragon on espresso. She is hooked back in like a cheat code by the fever. The sky is still perplexed as to whether Angel Reese will ever recall how to shoot a basketball. Try it like she means it and don't even succeed. It's no longer even subtle. There is a precise moment when the ball settles in Angel's hands and the crowd lets out a collective sigh while you see the skies play. Not a gasp or a celebration, just the heartbreaking, disappointing, oh God, Not again sigh that comes from repeatedly witnessing someone attempt to unlock an iPhone using the incorrect fingerprint. It has now evolved into performance art. Furthermore, it's never a good indicator when your coach intentionally changes your job in the middle of the season to evaluate what might work. That isn't a plan for development. Coaching roulette is what that is. It indicates that they don't think you can handle the fundamentals. They are hoping that if they shuffle you around enough, you might just happen to stumble onto success by chance.